Hi, Kevin. I just wanted to go over some corrections for your assignment. I apologize for taking so long to get back to you on this one. I was traveling yesterday on the 401, so couldn't mark anything. For question one, you're doing this right. Definitely, that's how you find your axis of symmetry, but you need to be aware that the axis of symmetry is actually a line. It's a vertical line on the grid. And as such, it needs to have an equation, not just a number. It's not a scalar value. It's an equation of a line. So when you write the equation of the axis of symmetry, what I want you to write is x equals 6.5. That's your equation of your axis of symmetry. It's also the x value for the point of the vertex of your parabola. So for each of these, I won't belabor the point here, but go through and make them into an equation of a line rather than just a single value, please. Okay. Same thing for number 2. You've done this one correctly. The only problem is you need to write it as a equation of a line. All right, so having a look at number 2, I've marked your first one here as correct. And again, you need the equation. Over here on number 2b, I've actually written in your factors for you. That should say 2x minus 3, I think, or plus 3. Yeah, 2x plus 3 there. Sorry, it's a little messy. So when you find your vertex, when you find your zeros, that's the first thing you need to do. Then you want x equals minus 3 halves and x equals 4. And now you're going to find the halfway point between those in order to find your axis of symmetry. I know you know how to do that, so I won't spend more time on that. Okay. So C looks good, and again, write it as an equation. And D is good. You picked up that there is a common factor there, and you factored that out as a difference of, or a perfect square trinomial. So you, in this case, what's going to happen is you end up with 2 roots, but they're both the same. So at x equals 9 is the only point where this parabola is going to touch the line or touch the graph. And so at x equals 9, your parabola looks like this. So it means that your axis of symmetry also goes through that point. And so x equals 9 is the equation of your axis of symmetry, as well as the only root for that equation. Okay? I see that you've left f blank. With f, first start by taking out a common factor. 2 will work there, and you'll end up with 2 times 36x squared minus 25. Now you've got a difference of squares, 6x plus 5 and 6x minus 5. And you can take it from there to find the roots, okay? All right, so looking at number 4, for number 4 at the top of the page, to speed things up, I've showed you a better way to factor an expression like that. When you have a negative in your leading coefficient for the x squared term, it's better to take that negative out as a common factor. In this case, we can also include a 5 as the common factor. And so if you do that, what you're left with is minus 5 times t minus 6 times t plus 2. The 2 roots that you get, one of them makes sense and the other doesn't, unless we can invent time travel. So that one's no good. But in terms of your axis of symmetry, which will give you your max or your min on your vertex, it's useful, and it tells us, as you say, that the axis of symmetry is x equals 2. The problem is that you need to interpret that information in terms of a minimum or maximum height of the rocket. Height is y, not x. And so at x equals 2, y equals, and you're going to take the 2 value and you're going to sub that in. And you're going to solve for y, and that's going to give you the height of the rocket at time t equals 2 seconds. Now, in number 5, the opposite is true because you're being asked to find X because they want to know the number of cars that will give you the maximum profit. So profit is Y and X is the number of cars here. So you've done this correctly and you found the coordinate of the vertex, the X coordinate of the vertex, where the maximum or the minimum will occur. And so at that point, 15 cars, it will give you the maximum amount of profit. So that one's great before we move on there. So just before we finish up here, just going back, question 3 seems to be missing. And so if you've got that on another sheet and you want to send it in, I will still mark it and include it in your mark. But for now, I'm going to have to deduct it from the assignment mark that you end up with. So please feel free to send that in if you do have it and just forgot to attach it.